Ear.
Today is Dalit Iyar. Today is the 19th day of the year. We're learning Sotah Daf Yotes. We're starting Sotah chapter 3, Perek Gimel, Daf Yotes, Amud Aleph Chad Rev. Let's do it. Now, we're continuing in the process of the Sotah. Today we have a very wonderful daf. It's going to be very fun. We got to get there. So here we go. The woman is holding her mincha. She's holding the barley flour in the vessel, in the kfifa mitzris. Remember, in this vast palm net basket. And the husband takes the mincha out of her hand, mitoch kfifa mitzris, from the kfifa mitzris. Like we said before, that there's two klisharis. There's first the klisharis that you have to put it into from the kfifa mitzris, from the palm basket, the barley flour. You put it into a holy vessel. Then from that vessel, the kohen has to take the kmitza, right? So first he puts it in the first klisharis, and the kmitza, that little section of the flour, goes into another klisharis, which then goes to the mizbech. So the first klisharis, v'nois al yada, he puts it on her hands. So he takes the kfifa mitzris, pours the flour from the kfifa mitzris into the klisharis. He puts the klisharis on his wife's hands. Then the kohen places his hands under his wife's hands. No, and then umanifa, and they wave it together. So there's a lot of the carbonates we find that you have to wave it. You bring you forward, backwards, like a lulav, up and down, to the right, to the left, all the directions. So a mitzvah by a lot of the carbonates, and as we see over here, by the minchas soita. Henif v'higish, he waves it all directions. Then kamatz, the kohen does the kmitza. Then v'hiktir, he puts that kmitza on the mizbeach. He burns it on the mizbeach after he salts it, obviously, like we learned before in the brayso about all the menachos. The ashar nachal kohenim. You'll see what happens to the rest of the mincha after the kmitza goes into the mizbeach. It's eaten by the kohenim. Very good. Now says the Gemara, take a Gemara daf yotes amar aleph mashka. He would give her the water to drink. And then afterwards he would do the mincha. We just learned in the Mishnah how he did the mincha. Now the Mishnahs are saying that he gave her to drink. Before the Mishnah, we didn't learn about her drinking yet. So we're going to see in the Gemara what order it's actually done in. So the Tanakama, keep in mind, guys, this is going to be important. The Tanakama says that she drinks the water, and then she brings the carbon mincha. If you look in Tosfos, so you have the big Tosfos on the bottom. He explains from the Yerushalmi that the reason why the Tanakama, or we're going to call it the Chachamim today, the reason why they say to first that she should drink the water and then she should bring the carbon mincha is because the Torah calls the carbon mincha in Perek Pasuk in Pasuk Tesvav. It calls the minchas kinois hu minchas zikarim as keresavin, that the mincha is the thing that brings out her sin. So according to the Chachamim, she drinks the water, nothing happens to her yet, but then after the carbon mincha is brought, the carbon mincha affects the water checking her, and if she's innocent, it'll bless her, and if she's guilty, it'll demote her. So that happens dafka after the carbon mincha is brought, minchas zikarim mazkera something. That's pasuk tezvav. That's the opinion of the Chacham. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, he says, no. First, you would bring the carbon mincha, and then afterwards she would drink the water. Remember, like it says in the pasuk, so isha samoyim. You want to look in the Torah over here. Pasuk chav. No, pasuk chavav. That you have pasuk chafei talks about the kohen doing the mincha. If you look in English, then the priest shall take the meal offering of jealousy out of the woman's hands. He should wave it and put it on the mizbeach. Then he takes the handful, the kmitza, puts that on the mizbeach, and afterwards shall cause the woman to drink the water. Very clearly in the Torah that he puts the mincha on the mizbeach, and then the woman drinks the water. Okay, so that's Reb Shimon's opinion. We're going to have to see the Gemara. We're going to unpack everything. Why the Chachamim say like this? Why Reb Shimon says like that? However, Reb Shimon says that if first, even though Reb Shimon says that first she does the mincha, then she drinks, but Reb Shimon acknowledges that if you did like the Chachamim, that first you drink and then the mincha, and then she brought the mincha, sheira, it is kosher and it's still going to work. Okay?
Still, I don't understand what the difference is. What's the order of the difference?
Very simple. The Chachamim say first she drinks the water, then she brings the mincha. Reb Shimon says first she brings the mincha, then she drinks the water. However, Reb Shimon,
kosher, what's the difference in this whole?
So which way do you have to do it? Which way do you have to do the chatfilah? When you have a site of the Beit Mikdash, what do you do? So we're gonna there's a lot of psukim. There's three psukim which are all contradicting each other, and we're gonna have to go through it on a basis. We're gonna get there. Okay, Gemara. Now we move on to the Gemara. Amar le Rabbi Elazar le Rabbi Yoshia de Dare. Rabbi Elazar said to Rabbi Yoshia of his generation. So what's his generation going on? So there was a guy called Rabbi Elazar ben Pedas. He was an Amoira. He was from the beginning of the Amoiraim. He was one of the first Amoiraim, the times of the Gemara. I think he lived in Eretz Yisrael. And he said to his friend, whose name was Rabbi Yoshia. There was two Rabbi Yoshias. There was Rabbi Yoshia, who was a Tana, and he was many years before Rabbi Elazar. They were not contemporaries, but there was another Rabbi Yoshia who was an Amoira, who was a contemporary of Rabbi Elazar. So Rabbi Elazar says to Rabbi Yoshia of his generation, he says like this: Lo tesav akarach, don't sit down ad demefarasht la laha milsa, until you explain to me the following statement, the following thing. He asks Rabbi Yoshia, Minayin the mincha Sotah, how do we know that the Sotah's mincha, that the Sotah's meal offering, shetu'una tenufa, how do we know that it needs to be waived? The Gemara says, 1 second, Minalan, you're asking how we know that the mincha Sotah needs to be waived? Yes, you're following. You're asking how it needs to be waived. What are you talking about? We just read in the pasuk. In pasuk, okay, I'll try. In pasuk Chaf Hey and Chavav, look in the Torah. It says that the kohen takes the mincha and he waves it. Yeah, that the kohen has to wave the mincha. We learned that in pasuk Chaf Hey. So what are you saying? Rabbi Elazar is asking how we know that you have to wave. What do you mean? It says it clearly in the Torah. So says the Gemara. Rabbi Elazar was asking Rabbi Yoshia, but Bailaminallah. He was asking how you know that the woman has to wave the mincha. The Torah just says that the kohen has to wave the mincha. If you look in pasuk Chavei, very clearly, the kohen takes the mincha, and he should wave the mincha. How do you know that the woman also has to have her hands under the vessel, like we said in the Mishnah? Says the Gemara, Asya yad mishlamim. We have a gzeir shava to the karban shlamim. Like ksiv hacha v'lakach hakohen miyado isho ksiv hasam yadav tiviena. By the karban shlamim, the Torah says that the owner waves the karban shlamim. This is a pasuk in Parshas Tzav. And it says Yodav, uses the word his hand.
So a woman doesn't do that. A woman doesn't do that karma.
Karma shlamim? Why not? She does. Okay. So there's a lot of shlamim. She becomes a Nazira, or she brings a shlamim. Yeah, absolutely. So, but by shlamim, it says that the owner should wave it. It doesn't have to say that his hands should wave it. Of course, how else is he waving it if not for his hands? So the extra word hand. And over here, again, that the kohen waves it, also an extra word hand. So you have yad, kser shava, that we're going to learn shlamim to Sotah. We're linking these two things. That makan koyin aflalon koyin. First of all, we're learning from Sotah to shlamim that by shlamim it just says the owner waves it. It doesn't say the kohen waves it. So we're learning from Sotah that by the Sotah it says that the kohen has to wave it. So now we're learning that to shlamim that by shlamim the kohen also has to wave it. And also we're learning the other way, the other direction too, as well. That malalon b'bailam, just like by shlamim, the Torah says it has to be the owner. So afkam b'bailam, so too over here it also has to be the owner. So okay, so how do you reconcile these two halachas? It has to be the kohen and then it has to be the owners. So we say that if by the shlamim and by the Sotah, the kohen places his hands under the hands of the owners. So in the case of the Sotah, he puts his hands under the Sotah's hands, and they wave it together. Good. Next, then we learned in the Mishnah, he brings he waves the what's it called, the mincha, and he takes the koimet, he puts it on his mizbeach, givaldik, and then it says hoya mashka, he would give her to drink, and then give her to, and then bring the mincha. So the Gemara asks the question, ha'akrava, you just said in the Mishnah that he brought the mincha already. So why are you now going back and saying that he should give her to drink before you make up your mind? What happens first? If she drinks first, the Mishnah should have said she drinks first. Why does the Mishnah wait till after the mincha? So Hachikar, this is what it's coming to say. Seder Menachos Ketzad, how do we do the mincha b'chlal? Heina v'higish kamas v'hikter, the whole thing that we said in the Mishnah about waving and the koimets and bringing it on the mizbeach. V'ashar nachal koinim, the rest is eaten by the koinim. Uvashkafa gufa. So the Mishnah is telling you the Seder of the mincha. Then the Mishnah is saying, and you were wondering about how you do the drinking of the water. So v'ashka gufa. Kligi Reb Shimon v'Rabbanan. We have a machlekes Reb Shimon and Rabbanan that the Rabbanan, the Tanakama in our Mishnah, Savri, they hold that Mashka v'achakach makar v'sminchasei. First gives her to drink and then he gives the mincha. Reb Shimon Zavar makar v'sminchasei v'achakach mashka, she never makar yashka. And Reb Shimon holds that first she does the mincha and then she drinks the water. So it's not really, the Mishnah the Gemara is basically saying, don't put too much thought into this discrepancy. The way we understood the Mishnah is how it should be understood, that the mincha is a machlekes, Reb Shimon and the Chachamim. The Chachamim say first water, then mincha. Reb Shimon says first mincha, then water. Next, v'im hishka, if he gave her first to drink, says Reb Shimon, and then he gave her to drink the mincha, and then he brought the mincha, so it's kosher. That was Reb Shimon's b'diavad. That should first be mincha, then water. If you did the opposite, it's kosher. So now Tanur Rabbanan. So here we have turning Talmud Beis, guys. You test it with Beis. Here we're going to have the big machlekes. It's going to be a three-way machlekes. The Chachamim and Reb Shimon from the Mishnah, and we're going to add Rabbi Akiva to this mixture, and we're going to have three psukim that they're arguing about. A life lesson that a lot of times, before you fix something, before you make something neat, you need to make a bigger mess first. When you're trying to clean out your closet's a big balagan, what do? You take everything out of your closet, you dump it on the floor, and then that's a much bigger mess than it was before, but then one by one, you fold all the shirts, you fold all the pants, you put them in the right place. In life, whenever your life runs into shambles, when you hit a bump in the road, and it looks like everything is a mess, so what do you have to do? You have to take out everything and dump everything down, cry all the tears, and then you examine one thing at a time, and you are able to reconcile everything. So the same thing we're going to do over here in this daf. In this amud over here, we have a big machlekes. We're not sure what's going on. We're going to dump psukim, we're going to dump prices, and at the end, we're going to be able to assemble everything beautifully, and it's all going to make sense, okay? So now, everyone's got a hot cup because it's going to be a little confusing, but if you pay attention, it'll be easy. So now, Tanu Rabbanan, here's the brisa. Vihishka. So if you look at the Chumash, look in Pasuk Chav Beis. Let's start from Pasuk Chav Beis. The kohen is in the middle of talking to the lady. He says, these waters are going to come into you and they're going to be able to kill you if you're guilty. The woman says, Amen, Amen. Pasuk Chav Gimel. The Kazav is Alei Seila HaKohen B'Sefer. The kohen writes these curses on a parchment, Umachal Me'amarim, and he erases it into the water. We learned previously last week about how it's got to be ink that could erase into the water, kids are all that stuff. Next, Pasuk Chav Dalet. V'hishka es ha'isha. He makes the woman drink Esmei Amarim Amarim, the waters. Ubaba Amayim Amarim the Marim, and the water goes into her, and if she was guilty, it'll be bitter for her and it'll kill her. Then, Pasuk Chafei, the kohen takes the mincha from the woman's hand. He waves it and he brings it to the mizbeach. By the way, is what we said that he has to touch the mincha to the southwest corner of the mizbeach. We said that in the beginning of Perek Beis, right? So that's what this vehikri v'isal mizbeach is like. He takes the kaimet and he puts it on the mizbeach. And afterwards, he gives the woman to drink the water. We already have a contradiction in the psukim. The pasuk said already, pasuk Chavdal, that he gives the woman to drink the water. Then it says that he brings the mincha, and now pasuk Chavav it says that he brings the mincha, and afterwards he gives the woman to drink. 1 second, he already gave her to drink. What's going on? And to make things more confusing, continue pasuk Chavzayin. It says once again, v'hishka samayim, and he gives her to drink the water. V'haisayim nitma, and if she was defiled, then the waters are going to kill her, and if not, v'imlei nitma ha'isha v'niksav nizra zara, she's going to be blessed. Okay, so we have 3 psukim. We have v'hishka number 1. Stay here. This is important. You have Vihishka number 1, then you have Achar Yashka, and then you have Vihishka number 2. Okay? Taking tomorrow. Okay.
How far do we have?
We're finishing. We're gonna go till the Mishnah on Daf Chav. Okay. Tanu Rabbanan, the Chachamim taught in a brisa like this. Vihishka, Matamud Leimar. What do we learn from the word Vihishka? Va'aloik Varnemar Vihishka. The Torah already says Vihishka. The brisa is focusing on the last Vihishka number 3, Vihishka number 2, Pasuk Chav Zayin, Vihishka Samayim. Says, why does it say Vihishka? It already says Vihishka in Pasuk Chav Dalet. Sorry, Farkar. The brisa is focusing on Vihishka number 1, Pasuk Chav Dalet. Why does it say Vihishka? It already is going to say Vihishka later. So why did we say Vihishka 2 times? So it says the brisa, Shem Nimcha Kamegila, V'Emer Seni Shoysa, Ma'arin Oysa, Mashkir Oysa Bal Karcha. Divrei Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva says that the reason why the Torah says Vihishka in Pasuk Chav Daled is to teach you, close the door, is to teach you that if after the Megillah was erased, after Hashem's name was erased, she says, I'm not going to drink, we force the woman to drink. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking like this. We're saying, if the woman, throughout the Sotah process, at any point, whether it's before the Megillah was erased, whether it's after the Megillah was erased, if she says the words that I'm guilty, that I cheated on my husband, she doesn't drink the waters, and the husband divorces her. That's unanimous, whether it's before the Megillah was erased, whether it's after the Megillah was erased. Well, what happens if she just says, I'm not drinking the water? I'm not drinking the water, but I'm still innocent. She says that I'm innocent, but I don't want to drink it. So if it's before the Megillah was erased, before Hashem's name was erased, so if she says, I don't want to drink it, fine. You don't have to drink it. You get divorced. You'll lose your ksuba and givaldik. If you want to drink the waters, then you can prove your innocence, and fine. However, says Rabbi Akiva that the first Vihishka in the Torah tells you that if she says that I'm innocent, but I still am not drinking the waters, and it's after the Megillah was already erased, after Hashem's name was erased, we force her to drink. Okay, that's why the Torah says Vihishka number 1, according to Rabbi Akiva. Shimon says Now, Reb Shimon, first of all, agrees with what Rabbi Akiva said. For now, we're going to leave it at that. That if she said after the Megillah was erased, if she said, I don't want to drink, we're going to force her to drink. But now Reb Shimon says, the Achar Yashka Matamad Lemar. Now we're going back to Pasuk Chavav. Again, the second time the Torah says that she should drink the water, that he brings the mincha, and then she should drink the water. What's that teaching you? So says Reb Shimon, but I like for our number of Vishka. It already says Vishka. So Ella, it's going to teach you like this. Achar Kol Maisim Kulon Ha'amurim L'Mayla. That the Achar Yashka teaches you that she drinks the water after everything was already done. What does that mean? Magid, it teaches you that Gimel Dvarim Akmiva, she can't drink the water until three things happen. First of all, Ashlei Karavakim Mitzvah had to have been brought already. The Ashlei Nimchaka Megillah, the Megillah had to have been erased already. What's the question on that? Obviously, she's not. What water is she drinking if the Megillah wasn't erased yet? And three, the Ashlei Tekabel Shvua, until she did not accept the oaths on her, until she didn't swear, she's not able to drink the water. Okay, so now first the Gemara says Ashlei Karavakim she can't drink the waters until after the kometz was brought. Reb Shimon Latame, Reb Shimon goes according to his reasoning. That's what we learned to the Mishnah, that according to Reb Shimon, she first drinks the water. Sorry, she first brings the mincha and then she drinks the water. So Reb Shimon is touching pasuk chavav, the achar yashka, according to his opinion, that you bring the mincha and then he's also using it to teach you other halachas, as we will see in a moment. So first of all, Reb Shimon says, you don't drink the water until after the mincha. That's what you learn from the achar yashka. Then, so now we said that another thing you learn from there is that you can't drink the water until after the Megillah was erased. Of course, obviously, what's she drinking if the Megillah wasn't erased? The whole point of the water is that the Megillah was erased into the water. So why would we even think that? So Amar Ravashi says, no, you didn't understand what he meant. He said, he's trying to say, Reb Shimon says that out of the words of Achar Yashka, you also learn that the water she drinks, if it has to be that the parchment was completely erased. If there's a little bit of ink left on the parchment, the water is not going to work and she can't drink yet. So that's another thing we learn out of the words of Achar Yashka. And actually, until she accepts upon the shvua on herself. So Mishlo So the Gemara asks, 1 second. You're just saying she can't drink until then. She could, but you write the Megillah before. No, you don't. You have to write the Megillah after she takes the shvua because that's what it says in the Torah. So says the Gemara, you're right. Kedei Nasva, the Gemara was just saying more things than you're right. It's also before the Shvuah, but we're talking about. It's also the writing has to happen after the Shvuah, but we're talking about the drinking. So the Gemara includes from the Achar Yashka that Reb Shimon holds that it has to be after the Shvuah. Okay, so now what do we have so far? We looked through three psukim. Vihishka Kama, you had the Achar Yashka, and you had the last Vihishka. So the first Vihishka so far, what we have from there is that if the woman says, I don't want to drink after the Megillah was already erased, we force her to drink it. That was what Rabbi Akiva said. We're assuming now that that's what Rabbi Shimon holds also.
Well, that's if Hashem's name isn't already.
Obviously, the Megillah includes Hashem's name, according to all three opinions that we learned earlier in Perek Beis. It has Hashem's name in it. Then you have.
But what if they didn't erase Hashem's name? What if they already started but they didn't erase Hashem's name? Yeah.
So we learned before that you can't erase it before you wrote the whole thing. You have to write the whole parsha and then you.
Yeah, if you write the whole parsha, you erase it all at one time, or you erase it.
But Hashem's name wasn't erased yet.
Yeah.
That's a good question. No, but we said before it can't have Rishon Nikar unless all the words were erased. It doesn't even work anyway. Every ounce of ink has to be off. That's why they used an ink that could erase easily. Then you had V'achar Yashka, which Reb Shimon learned from there. That first of all, he learned L'gufa, just simply that it's first mincha and then drinking the water, and he learned that it has to be totally erased, and he learned that the curses happen before the drinking. And the last Vihishka, what did we learn from there? We didn't use that yet. We didn't use the last Vihishka yet. Okay, so now we just learned the first Vihishka and V'achar Yashka according to Rabbi Akiva and Reb Shimon. So now, what are we arguing about? Now we're gonna take it up to the next level. The Gemara says that there are three psukim. There's Vihishka Kama, Vihishka number 1. Then there's V'achar Yashka. That's the second one that says she drinks, and then Vihishka Basra.
We already did Ravashi, right?
Yeah, we did Ravashi. We're you see the Tosfos Shantz on the right side. We're near that line. Tosfos Shantz all the way on the right side. The right guy all the way on the right side of the Yomud. So the top of him, we're next to there. So plus a Kroiksivi. There's three psukim. Vihishka Kama, V'achar Yashka, Vihishka Basra. So now Rabbanan Savri, according to the Chachamim, Azoy. Vihishka Kama L'gufa. The Chachamim learn very simply. The Torah says Vihishka Seisha the first time that she should drink, so they learn simply that that's the mitzvah that she should drink the water. And there it's happening before right here. You see the Tosfos Shantz next to it. See?
Oh yeah, my Gemara's format.
over here. So you have Vihishka number 1, Pasuk Chav
What's the
Daled.
first couple words? So why?
Yashke Vihishka Basra Rabbanan Sabri Vihishka Kamal Gufay. We're mamish smack middle deal. So the first Vihishka, the Chachamim are learning, the Torah says Vihishka because that's saying that she has to drink the water. And where does it say that? It says that before everything else. So she should do that before the mincha. The Chachamim are learning very simple. The first time the Torah says to drink it, that's the real mitzvah to drink it, and that happens before the mincha. Beautiful. Then the achar yashka. So why does it say again in pasuk chavav achar yashka? So mivayle the sheri shumay nikar. The Chachamim learn from there. The halacha, the same thing. One of the things that Reb Shimon learned from there, but it's only one of the things. The Chachamim say that teaches you that it has to be achar yashka, that after she could drink. It's only after the Megillah is totally erased. So the achar yashka is now we're moving it, that it's not that the ba'achar, that even though a simple reading of the pasuk seems that he brings the mincha ba'achar yashka, and after the mincha she should drink the water. So the Chachamim teach ba'achar as going on erasing the sefer. He erases the sefer, and after, i.e., after he erases the sefer, that's when the woman drinks the water. So they're using ba'achar yashka that it has to be totally erased. It can't have any residue on it. Vihishka Basra, the last Vihishka is Nimcha Kamagil of Amra Any Shaisa, Meres Any Shaisa, Arinisa Mashka Sabal Karcha. Coming to learn, the last Vihishka, according to the Chacham, according to the Tanakama, is that if she says she doesn't want to drink the water and we already erased the Hashem's name there, she is forced to drink. Beautiful. So now we have the Chachamim, the 3 psukim. We explained what everything has to do according to the Chachamim. Then Reb Shimon Savar Ba'achar Yashke Legufay. At the middle pasuk Chavav, Ba'achar Yashke is the actual mitzvah. Okay? That first you have to bring the mincha and then you give her to drink. Vishka kama. So now what's the first vishka doing? Pasuk Chav Daled. That's That's coming to teach you a b'diavad case. That if accidentally the kohanim first gave her to drink and then they brought the mincha, so it's still kosher. That's why it says vishka before the mincha, because if accidentally they did it before, it's still kosher. So it still works. It's still vishka. Vishka basra. The last vishka is nimcha kamagil v'amreini shaisa. That if she doesn't want to drink and the Megillah was already erased, we force her to drink. Okay. So now, first of all, let's understand why the Rabbanan don't say that Reb Shimon. Why don't they say that Ba'achar Yashka means that that's the real mitzvah? Why don't they say that Ba'achar Yashka should be the real mitzvah? Very simple. The Chachamim are saying the first time the Torah mentions her drinking is Pasuk Chav Daled. Why would you, Reb Shimon, say that the first time the Torah mentions that she should drink the water, it's talking about a b'diavad case? Reb Shimon says that the first time the Torah mentions vihishka, it's b'diavad. If she first drank and then they brought the mincha, which is not how they're supposed to do with the chatchila, according to Reb Shimon, it shows that it's kosher. The Chachamim say, why would the Torah do that? The first time it's telling you a mitzvah, it's telling you the way that you do it b'diavad. It doesn't seem right. Where are we? Yeah. Okay, so and Reb Shimon doesn't say that. Reb Shimon says literally, "V'achar yashka." Literally, the words, if you read the pasuk simply, says that you bring the mincha and then you give her to drink. So that's basically the underlying machlekes, Reb Shimon and the Tanakama from our Mishnah. So now we just made the mess a little bit bigger. We're going to clean it up on Daf Chav. So now 1 second. Now we have to go back to Rabbi Akiva for a second. So far we explained Reb Shimon and the Chachamim what they do with every of these 3 psukim. Now we have to go back to Rabbi Akiva. In the beginning of the Yamud, Rabbi Akiva said that the first Vihishka teaches you that if she doesn't want to drink, you force her to drink, if the Megillah was already erased. So 1 second. Does Rabbi Akiva hold b'chlal that you're able to force her to drink? It's not true. We know about Tanya. We have another brayso that says like this. Rabbi Yehuda says, Azoy. They used to take an iron hook and put it in the Sotah's mouth to pry it open. Because if the Megillah was already erased, and she says that I don't want to drink the waters, so we force her to drink. This is Rabbi Yehuda. Now comes Rabbi Akiva and he says, why would you force her to drink? The whole point of the Sotah waters is to check her to know whether she was guilty or not. This girl who's claiming that she doesn't want to drink, Rabbi Akiva says that her saying that she doesn't want to drink is a proof that she cheated on her husband, because why else would you not want to drink? The water's not going to do anything to you. So Rabbi Akiva says,
it's going to bless you.
Very good. So Rabbi Akiva says that the fact that she doesn't want to drink proves that she taka cheated on her husband, and therefore we don't need to give her we don't need to force her, because it's we already know we're not trying to kill her. We just want to know the truth. So get divorced and then lose your psuah. So what did we learn in Brisa number 2 so far? Rabbi Akiva holds that you never force her to drink. However, our first Brisa number 1 on top of the Amud said that Rabbi Akiva says that you do force her to drink. So what's going on? And now we're going to make it a little more confusing. Ella, so says Rabbi Akiva like this. So what happens? She's so you don't force her to drink. Ella, so what do you do? Before the kemetz is brought, she's able to go back and say she doesn't want to drink, and then you don't force her. However, once the kemetz is brought, she can't go back, and even if she says she doesn't want to drink,
It's over.
you force her to drink. 1 second. First of all, we have stiras minei. First of all, you have a stira from Brisa number 1 to Brisa number 2, because Brisa number 1 said that Rabbi Akiva says that before the Megillah was erased, if she says she doesn't want to drink, then she doesn't drink. After the Megillah was erased, you force her to drink. Brisa number 2 doesn't say that it has to do with the erasing of the Megillah. Brisa number 2 says that it has to do if the Kaimetz was brought yet. According to Brisa number 2, Rabbi Akiva says that if the Kaimetz was already brought, then you force her to drink. So that's first of all, is it the Megillah being erased, or is it the Kaimetz being brought that causes her to not be able to not want to drink anymore? And in Brisa number 2, you have a stira from the beginning of the Brisa to the end of the Brisa. The beginning of the Brisa, Rabbi Akiva says you never force her to drink. The end of the Brisa says that you do force her to drink if the mincha was already brought. So says the Gemara, 1 second. Velita amich, you're trying to bring me a stira from one Brisa to another. Tikshi lachi gufa. This Brisa itself makes no sense. She can't go back. You force her to drink after the kemetz was already brought. I thought, according to Rabbi Akiva, her saying that she doesn't want to drink is tantamount. It's the same thing as if she would have drank the water, because then we know for sure that she cheated on her husband. She says the Gemara Loikashia. We're trying to answer both questions with one answer. Loikashia. Azoi. Ha dikahadraba machmas resisa. Machmas priusa. First of all, in our brisa, when Rabbi Akiva says you never force her to drink, that's only if she was healthy and she was totally calm and collected when she said, I don't want to drink. If she says, I don't want to drink, and she was calm throughout the whole thing, it proves that milchatchila she wasn't planning on drinking, because she knew that she was guilty, and she knew that the waters are going to kill her. So she's not going to drink, and therefore she's calm and collected the whole time. She says, I don't want to drink. And there, in that case, even if the Megillah was erased, even if the Kemetz was brought, even if it's the last moment, she says, I don't want to drink, she doesn't drink. Because Rabbi Akiva says that is as good as her drinking the water, because we know that she has for sure cheated on her husband. However, Machmas Resisa, if she was scared, if she was hyperventilating, and then she says, I don't want to drink, so it could be that she's innocent, because originally she wasn't scared, but now it's coming time to drink the water, and the Bezdin tries to intimidate her to try to get her to admit, right? They say scary stories, and they make her walk up and down, so now she's very scared. So according to Rabbi Akiva, she's actually really innocent, and therefore we force her to drink because Hashem's name was erased, and nothing's going to happen to her. And she's probably innocent because she's just freaking out. That's why she doesn't want to drink. So we do force her to drink. In that case, you force her to drink. Okay, so now, and this is what Rabbi Akiva is saying. Anytime the woman is saying, I don't want to drink, and she's in a healthy state of mind, she'll never drink. You don't force her to drink. However, when it comes to... We are 3 lines from the bottom of the Amud. When it comes to her being scared, if she's freaking out, so actually, if the Kemetz was still not brought, which that means at that point the Megillah was not erased yet. So or if the Megillah was erased, it means that they weren't allowed to erase it yet, because according to Rabbi Akiva, you only erase the Megillah after the Mincha is brought. So even if the Mincha is not brought yet, and if the mincha is not brought yet and the Megillah was already erased, it means that the Kohanim screwed up, and over there we're going to give the woman more leeway that she's not going to have to drink. So the machki that they erased it, not like the din, because according to Rabbi Akiva, it has to happen after the mincha. If they did it before, it's the woman's luck, and she doesn't want to drink, she's not going to drink, even if she's freaking out. So matzi hadraba, she could go back and say, I don't want to drink. However, once the kemetz was already brought, that there the din of the Kohanim the machki, and now the Megillah is erased because the Kohanim did it the right way. So she can't go back. So basically, we're trying to reconcile both brises by saying that it's not that really Rabbi Akiva holds that it has to do with the Mechikas Megillah, with the Megillah getting erased. That is the trigger that says that the Sotah can't go back. However, why did he mention the Kemetz? Because it does make a difference. Because if the Megillah was erased before the Kemetz was brought, so Rabbi Akiva would hold that she could still go back because the Kohanim screwed up over there and they did it wrong. Even though with the evidence it's okay, but the they shouldn't have done that, and therefore the woman has more leeway. However, if the Megillah was erased after the Kemetz was brought, then she is not able to go back. What do you want to say?
That's fine.
Okay, turning to Daf Chaf, guys. So now, however, still, it's not really a vart because we didn't really answer it very good. We said we're trying to reconcile the brises, but bottom line, one brisa said it's koimetz, one brisa said it's mechikas Megillah. So bottom line, kashi Rabbi Kiva, we still have a question. Rabbi Kiva, he didn't say clearly. He didn't give us a clear answer of when she's not able to go back. Yeah. So Hasam Amar Mechika Ma'akva, and Brisa number 1, he said that it's Mechika that causes her to not be able to go back. And over here in the second Brisa, he said that it's the Kaimetz of the Mincha that is the trigger that says that she can't retract and say, I don't want to drink the waters. Says the Gemara, bottom line, it's two Tanoim, two different Tanoim that are arguing according to the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. They both, it wasn't Rabbi Akiva himself, it was two Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva that argued about what Rabbi Akiva said. Brisa number 1 was a Talmud of Rabbi Akiva that said that Rabbi Akiva holds that what's it called? That it has to do with Mechikas Megillah, that after the Megillah was erased, she's not able to go back because Hashem's name was already erased. And Brisa number 2 was a Talmud who remembered that Rabbi Akiva said that it has to do with the Kmitza and bringing the Mincha. Good. So now we have a Shaila, 1 second. Amraini Shoisa. Yeah. Amraini Shoisa, if she said, I don't want to drink. So now, Mechamas Briusa, she said she doesn't want to drink and she was calm, cool, and collected. So according to Rabbi Akiva, in that case, you can't go back. You can't force her. You don't force her to drink. Sorry, you could go back. You don't force her to drink, and she gets divorced. However, v'chazra v'amra shoysani. But then she decides, no, I do want to drink the waters. Yeah. So we said that according to Rabbi Akiva, if you look in Rashi, Rabbi Akiva holds that her saying I don't want to drink, if it's mechamas b'ryusa, it's tantamount to her saying that I cheated on my husband. So now she goes back and says that I do want to drink the waters. So now what do we do? Right. So that's the shayla. Mal, what's the din? When she says that I don't want to drink, she's basically saying that she cheated on her husband, and if she would have said those words, she for sure can't go back. Hello, Mendel, don't talk. So now, yeah, so she can't go back, and she's not able to drink, or once she established that she had cheated on her husband, she can't go back. Or is it that since she goes back and says, I do want to drink, it's revealing, guys, don't talk. It's revealing that the first time that she said she doesn't want to drink, it was just because she was freaking out, and now she's not freaked out anymore. So now she is saying that she does want to drink. So says the Gemara, take it, we don't know what Rabbi Akiva would say. So now, bottom line, we're finished with this sugya. We're going to just learn the next 3 lines to finish to the next Mishnah. But before we do that, bottom line, Azoi, the 3-way machlek is Tanakama, Reb Shimon, and Rabbi Akiva about the 3 psukim, V'hishka, V'achar Yashka, V'hishka. Let's go through all of them. Tanakama. V'hishka number 1 teaches you the actual din. She drinks the waters before she brings the mincha. V'achar Yashka teaches you that the what's it called has to be that the V'achar Yashka teaches you the rishumei nikar, that there can't be any residue of the ink left on the parchment when he erases it. V'hishka, the last V'hishka, according to the Tanakama, teaches you that if she says she doesn't want to drink after the Megillah was erased, guys, calm down. If she says she doesn't want to drink, you force her to drink, according to the Tanakama. Next, Reb Shimon, V'hishka number 1 teaches you that bidi eved, if they accidentally first drank the water and then brought the kaimetz, it's still kosher. That's what the Ishka number 1 teaches you according to Reb Shimon. The Achar Yashke, according to Reb Shimon, teaches you number 1 that the gufay that you first Mendel, don't talk. We're guys almost finished. The Achar Yashke teaches you. If you want to talk, you go outside, guys. We're up, literally we have 3 lines left. Just be quiet. The Achar Yashke teaches you the gufay that you first bring the mincha and then you drink the waters. Come on. L'gufay. Then it teaches you rishumei nikar also according to Reb Shimon. And like we mentioned before, that you do the swears first and then you do the drinking. The Hishka Basra, according to Reb Shimon, teaches you that if she says she doesn't want to drink after the Megillah was erased, you force her. Rabbi Akiva, guys, come on. Rabbi Akiva holds like this. V'hishka number 1 teaches you ma'ararin, that if she says she doesn't want to drink, you after the Megillah was erased, this was the top of Yotes Amud Beis, you force her. The Achar Yashke teaches you rishumei nikar, just like Rabbanan, just like Reb Shimon, that it has to be totally erased. And V'hishka Basra teaches you l'gufa, according to Rabbi Akiva, you first bring the mincha and then you drink the water. Bottom line, the halacha is the Rambam paskins that he paskins like the Tanakama, that first you drink the water and then you bring the carbon mincha. However, he does say that, which is what really the opinion of the Chachamim, if you look at the Tosfos and the Rashi, that b'di eved, the Chachamim would agree that if you first brought the mincha and then she drank the waters, it's still kosher, and that's what the halacha is. Now, finally, the Chaf Amud Aleph, 3 lines before the Mishnah. Amar Avod Shmuel, the father of Shmuel said that Sarach Shite in Marlis Echamayim, that before she drinks the water, before you erase the Megillah in it, before you even write anything, you have to put something bitter into the waters. You have to put a bitter substance to make the waters very bitter. My time, how come? The Amar Krakas, the Torah calls the waters Mei Hamorim, the bitter waters that you put the you put the paper with the words of the Torah into the bitter waters, shemarim kvar, that they were already bitter from before, which means that the pshat in the pasuk is that they're bitter because they're bitter for her, because if she cheated on her husband, they'll make her die. Avodah Shmuel comes and says that the halacha is that you need to put something bitter in the waters, that the waters should be physically bitter in order to be mekayim. But it says in the Torah that it's mei hamarim hama'arim. Everyone have a good day. Tomorrow we're going to learn daf